Welcome back to Open Line tonight. We're talking about the fatherless epidemic with Representative Mike Sparks here. Thank you for being here tonight.
Yes, thank you for that.
It is a topic that the legislature has passed a resolution about this session, saying, you know, we as a community, as a government, as churches, as people in our communities, we need to be aware of this issue.
Yes, ma'am.
And need to be involved in changing the course of these kids' lives when needed. I do want to point out there are children living in one-parent homes who are thriving.
Yes.
There are parents who are doing one heck of a job.
Yeah.
The numbers also tell a disheartening story that children raised in one-parent homes struggle in a lot of areas. Yeah. It's a big burden to carry when you're that one parent.
You know, even those that are raised in a single family home like that, they will usually go back and cite some positive male role model, whether it was a coach. A lot of times it's a coach, whether it's sports, or look at Denzel Washington where he talks about the Boys and Girls Club making a difference. So there's usually someone that has touched their life, a school principal, a school teacher, maybe even a police officer.
Lots of folks sounding up, watching us on Facebook Live. Thank you for that. And also, Reverend Fuzz is on the line. Reverend Fuzz, always good to hear from you.
Hey, okay. Let me stay on task here.
Okay, that's important. You know that.
Well, you know, it's really important. Joe Biden, the vice president, I got to be with him once, and he said something, Mr. Legislator.
Yes, sir.
He said, tell me about your values, but show me your budget. I know you mentioned the statistics. I got to tell a good story of so many kids who I do work with and have as members of my church. Lots of kids who are in single-parent homes. And one lady couldn't do Father's Day program because she'd never known her dad, and she just didn't want to be that volunteer over Father's Day. And another kid whose dad, I went with his dad 20 years to court for every year for something or another, and his son he was never in his life. His son graduated from high school and is now in college. And I want to, put more emphasis on those successes that we see in our society. It's bold for me to say that there were like 20 teenagers killed last year. But we have 150,000 kids in our city. And there are 80,000 kids in the school. 65,000 of them, we graduate on time. Yeah. And there's a lot of good. And so the media shows a lot of negative. But I want to ask you the question again. One other legislator, Bill Purcell, used to be mayor. He told me this 12 years ago, and I've thought about it every day. Every day I've thought of what Bill Purcell said to me. He said, Enoch, there's no way to fix the problems in your community unless there is some allocation and stimulus from the public treasury. He said the tithes of your wonderful members, the grants, the foundations, the fundraisers, it'll never be enough. You've got to have it allocated from the public treasury. So with the resolutions, that's awareness. But these wonderful kids out here, not the ones that y'all keep trying to say it causes crime to go up, but the good people who are hurting. I got lots of little boys who say, I go to school to learn, not play, and he makes straight A's, and he's going to be he's what do you call it, a prodigy in this city. He's going to be that. So I want to ask, why and what's the problem with understanding how to put a budget with our values? And my little quip is, if your values don't have a budget, they don't have much value. Can I get some conversation on that? I want our legislators, you guys got to know this stuff. Y'all got to be there and learn it and hear it. It's a lot to know out here.
Rev, let's talk about this. Reverend Fuzz, thank you for calling in. I've heard it in a church sermon several of times, and I know this is what Reverend Fuzz is pointing out. If you open your checkbook, it will show you where your values are, where you spend your money. And I think that can be true for the government too. Yeah, well, I think the legislature's done a great job, even with Democrats and Republicans. We've added more. In just my community, we just were groundbreaking Friday for the third building at Motlow, the fastest growing community college in the state of Tennessee is in Smyrna, something I'm proud of. It's a new 80,000 square foot building. That's one example. We've got a new TCAT, Tennessee College of Applied Technology, on Sergeant Asbury Han Way, who was a young man that I worked with at Nissan that was later killed in Iraq. That's a $40 million facility for folks that may not want to go to college, that may want to learn automotive engineering, they may want to learn paint and body, they may want to learn welding, computer programming. The
TCAT is doing tremendous things out there to touch these young lives, and there's great opportunity, probably more opportunity now than when I was in school. When I left school, I remember driving all the way to Tennessee State or Tennessee State Community College on White Bridge Road. That was a pretty good hike. I can remember going to Vol State College, going to McGavick High School when they offered classes while I was working at Whirlpool in the factory, while I was working at Nissan, while I was delivering Cokes for Coca-Cola. So the opportunities are there today more than they were 20 and 30 and 40 years ago.
You think so? More so? That the legislators funding programs and initiatives that make a difference?
The Tennessee Reconnect, the Tennessee Promise. I mean, if folks want, if folks that are 25 want to go back to school with the Tennessee Reconnect program, they can. I've seen folks that are doing it. Now, we can't cover all the bases because the money just isn't there.
Sure.
But we're covering what we can. I do want to applaud the governor. And believe me, I'll criticize the governor if I feel like criticizing the governor. I don't want to criticize the governor, but if I feel like they're not doing enough, I'm going to say it. But I think the governor, his heart's in the right place, and I think the legislature's heart is in the right place.
Let's jump back to the lines. That's what this show is all about. We have Mike on the line. Hi, Mike. Mike, are you with me?
Are you talking to me?
I am talking to you. Mike, we have about 3 minutes left here. Can you have a comment or question in that amount of time?
Well, I have a comment for both of you, but you should have addressed me the way I told the individual to address me as Bishop Michael. Now,
I'm sorry. Okay, Michael, go ahead.
Listen to me. Today, in my soul, I know that God has blessed both of you to bring to light what you're bringing to the altar today. It was ordained before the beginning that this day would be the day that you would bring it to light. And you are both so wonderful together, and you're both conversing with each other through the Holy Spirit. And you're so beautiful in your words, and He reacts to the words that you say to Him. And it's a combination where two become one. Now here's what I posted, and it has a 1 in 300 chance of anybody on earth to see it. I posted, every child needs a father and a mother. It is encoded into our DNA.
Yes, sir.
Those words came to me through the Holy Spirit. Even Jesus had a father, and all children need a father and a mother.
Michael, thank you for calling in and sharing that with us today.
Yes.
We appreciate hearing from you. Let me jump to Robert here. We are running short on time, folks, but I do want to get in as many people as we can. Hello, Robert.
Hello.
Hi.
I was giving you a call. I used to work for the Metro Health Department and ran a comprehensive fatherhood program.
Oh, fantastic. Love to hear your insights.
And so we had a grant from the Office of Health and Human Services that provided services where we were able to work with fathers to prepare them for a life where they're going to be involved with their children for the entirety of their life, but then also making sure that they had the tools and skills to be leaders in their household as well as their community. And so there's models out there already for community-based programs that can provide these services, but once again, like Pastor Fuzz mentioned earlier as well, it comes down to funding. The model that we use only cost us $1,500 per family.
Wow.
For the entire year to provide services to them.
That's amazing.
And so it's not a huge investment, and it's evidence-based. We know that the program works, and it's just a matter of people deciding that they value the issue enough to put money behind it to support those programs and to support the families that we all say that we care so much about. Everyone hates to turn on the news and see that another child was murdered or killed. And we know that by having men and involved fathers in our community, that we can prevent some of those issues from taking place. And so if we truly care about it, we got to put the money behind it. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And so hopefully I can work with you in the future, and I'll hope to be able to send you some information by email so we can talk about funding programming like that.
What's your last name so Representative Sparks can really be looking for you?
All right, thank you.
Robert, before you go, don't hang up. What's your last name so Representative Sparks can be looking for that email? So
It's It's Taylor, Taylor.
Fantastic. Robert, thank you for coming in or calling in. Great insight. I truly appreciate that tonight. What a great way to wrap up our show.
Yeah.
No problem.
And hopefully we can make that connection, and then we can say, wow, something really came out of tonight.
Well, like what the pastor, Bishop Michael, had mentioned earlier, and because you and I were talking off the air about some spiritual issues and all, and maybe it is God ordained that me and you were talking right here tonight.
Never know.
You know?
Never know how things work out, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We will wrap things up right after this. Stay where you are.